These grapes are delicious. But they're not for eating, they're for making wine. I'm John Davis, and we're in the field in Lubbock, Texas. When people think about West Texas, they think about the cotton we grow out here. And it's true, we grow a lot of cotton. But for the last 30 years, we've been growing other things, like grapes for wine. That's one thing that Texas Tech's viticulture and enology program is looking at. And here to talk to me about it is Dr. Ed Hellman. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, John.
Thanks for having us out.
My pleasure. Welcome to our research vineyard.
So I understand we're standing right in the middle of your lab.
Yeah, pretty much. If you want to study grapes, you've got to grow them and grow them under the conditions that the industry is growing them under. So we've got a pretty good sized research vineyard here out at the station.
Now, what exactly are you doing at this research station?
So we're doing variety evaluation of grapes, we're doing rootstock evaluation, we're doing physiology research. Everything that you do to grow grapes influences the fruit quality to some extent, and the fruit quality is a big determinant of what the wine quality is like. So everything you do in the vineyard impacts the wine.
Oh, I see. Well, let's go take another look.
All right, very good.
All right. So Ed, with this being your lab, tell me a little bit about what kind of experiments you're doing and why you're doing them.
Sure. Well, first of all, why we're even doing grape research. The Texas wine industry, people have probably noticed how it's grown so much in the last 10 years or so in the West Texas area. It's actually about 30 years old.
Okay.
A little over 30 years old that we've been growing grapes out here for wine production. That sounds like a long time, but in the global scheme of things, we've just gotten started.
Right, right.
So there's a lot that we have to learn yet, including what varieties are going to grow best here, and not just grow best, but what are going to make the best wines for us. When we harvest the fruit from our research plots, we want to measure yield. We want to know how productive the variety is. We're going to measure the composition of the fruit.
Right.
So the sugar content, the acid content, the pH. We can also measure sugar and then the tannin content as well.
Okay.
Which contributes to the mouthfeel of a wine.
Should we test one now?
Sure.
All right.
We can test the sugar
very
quickly and easily out here with an instrument called a refractometer.
Okay. So what does this do?
So it measures the sugar content by refraction, light refraction.
Right.
So when solids are dissolved in a liquid, light doesn't pass straight through that liquid, water.
Right.
It gets bent a little bit.
Exactly.
And the more solids that are dissolved in it, the more it's bent. And so with a calibrated refractometer, you can get a measure of the sugar content in grape berries.
Okay.
So I'm just going to take one berry here and squeeze a few drops on here and get a reading. But when we collect data, we would take a collective, large representative sample, process it, and handle it a little bit more. But you can get a rough idea of the sugar content just by squeezing a few drops of juice onto the refractometer without the seeds.
Okay.
There we go. And it looks like it's not quite ripe yet. It's about 19% sugar.
Okay.
So we're looking for probably 23 to 24% sugar.
Okay.
Is when we'll harvest this. So it's probably got another couple of weeks yet.
Okay. So Ed, I understand you have some experiments you want me to participate with today?
Yeah, absolutely. So we evaluate varieties on the productivity of the fruit and the composition of the fruit, but we also want to know how the vine grows from a physiological standpoint.
Okay.
And so I want to introduce you to my colleague, Dr. Thayne Montague. He's a whole plant physiologist, and he studies the physiology of grapevines.
All right. Well, let's go meet him.
All right.
Okay.
Good morning, Thayne.
Good morning.
I'm John Davis. Nice to meet
Good
you.
to meet you, John. Thayne Montague.
So Dr. Montague is an associate professor at Texas Tech. Been here about 16 years or so.
Okay.
Also has a joint appointment with Texas AgriLife Research.
Okay.
And Dr. Montague is taking some photosynthesis readings with the equipment here, and he'll explain a little bit about what he's doing and why he takes these kinds of readings and what significance they have.
Perfect. All right, let's get to it. Let's go. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing out here today.
Today we're looking at what are called Lycor photosynthesis machines. One of the things we like to do out here in the vineyard is to look at varieties and test varieties that will or will not be adapted to the growing conditions on the high plains of Texas.
Okay.
What we're going to do today is we're looking at a variety called Grenache, which
Okay.
is supposedly adapted to very hot climates. We're going to test the photosynthetic rate and see how it's doing. Inside the cuvette head here is we can monitor and regulate the light levels. We can regulate CO2, air temperature, humidity, all those climatic factors that affect how a leaf photosynthesizes.
Oh, can I try?
You can try,
All right.
okay? So I'll unclamp this one, and you'll get the next one over there.
Okay.
So if you want to find a leaf that's kind of out in the sun, kind of a random leaf, so to speak.
Maybe that one? Do I need to flatten it out?
Yeah, you want it flat. You don't want to have a lot of bending leaves in there. So the guidelines are on here. Each of the things that we're measuring. So photo is photosynthesis, and you just kind of watch that. And there's some other readings you can look at that will stabilize over time. And usually it's about 30 seconds.
So how are we doing?
All right, wow, that's consistent. This one's about 34.8.
Okay.
So that's kind of what you want. These plants are doing well, and the less variability you have between your measurements on the same species or same treatment is really the way to go. So
Okay.
we're looking pretty good right now.
Perfect.
Hi, Brent. Let me introduce you to John.
Hi,
John, this
nice
is
to
Brent.
meet you.
Brent Pape. He's our viticulture research technician.
Excellent.
And he's the one who manages the research vineyard out there. And he'll also, he makes the experimental wines, and he's got some fruit that he picked earlier today, and he's going to show us, demonstrate how he does the destemming, the first step in winemaking.
Oh, excellent. So this is the fun part of viticulture.
Exactly.
Right here. All right. So tell me a little bit about what we're doing here.
Well, we're taking some of the grapes from the research vineyard and processing them through this destemmer. This is really the first step in making experimental wine.
Okay. What kind of grapes are they?
These are Trousseau grapes.
Trousseau. And what kind of wine do you make with this?
I'm going to make just a dry red wine out of it for research purposes. That's what we do with all of our red grapes here.
All right.
So just a single varietal wine.
Okay, so what can I do to help?
Well, we're going to pour bucket from bucket.
Okay.
And run it through the destemmer, and it'll be caught by our stainless steel bucket down here.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
All right.
You going to pour? You want me to?
You do the first one, I'll do the second.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. All right, batch number 2.
Okay. Like so?
Yes, sir.
I don't think I'm ready for my own label yet, but hey. So what happens after you do this?
From here, we will actually crush up the skins a little bit more to make it a little bit more juicy.
Okay.
We will look at the sugar, which is measured in bricks, and the pH. Depending on what the pH tells us, we'll adjust it with our tartaric acid down to the acceptable level. From there, we will get our yeast starter going and pitch our yeast with all the yeast nutrients into
Okay.
the wine and let it go. As you can see, after just 2 days of fermentation, that cap has really pushed up.
Oh, okay. So all the juices at the bottom and all the grapes and stems and everything have floated up to the top?
Correct.
Okay.
And about twice a day, every day, for about 2 weeks, you'll come in and actually press that cap down.
Okay.
Just to increase the skin contact with the juice. From here, we will actually do a malolactic bacteria culture. That'll run another 2 weeks. Then we'll rack it and add a little bit of potassium metabisulfite, and then we'll stick it in the walk-in cooler at about 70, 65 degrees, somewhere in that realm. Let it age to taste.
Okay. What's in the cooler?
Right now, there is just single white wine.
Oh, okay.
It is Viognier.
So this has kind of gone through the same process that you have outside?
Correct.
Okay.
And with the white wine, it's a little bit different. We actually take whole clusters and put them into the press and squeeze that juice out. So there's no de-stemming that takes place with our white wines. That's just to reduce the likelihood of getting those harsh tannins in the wine. So anyway, we press it out. We add all of our chemicals, like I mentioned previously. We set this thing up at about 65 degrees.
Okay.
And we pitch our yeast, and it takes off.
What are these glass things on the top?
Okay, these are fermentation locks. This is more of the S-style fermentation lock. This allows the gases to escape without air getting into the wine, which will actually oxidize it.
Okay. How long does it take to go from the de-stemming process to a finished bottle that you're ready to drink?
Okay, so with white wine, that process can be anywhere from 3 to 9 months. With the red wine, anywhere from 9 months to a couple years, depending on how you prefer it to taste, ideally.
Well, listen, thanks very much for having us.
Yes,
We
sir.
really enjoyed it.
Good having you.
All right. So what have we learned? As more and more Texas farmers are trying to grow grapes for wine, Texas Tech's Viticulture and Enology department is learning better ways to grow those grapes. And also, there's no finer taste than the fruit of your own labor. For In the Field, I'm John Davis. It's good stuff. Like what you see? I mean, who doesn't like to learn about winemaking? Make sure you subscribe to our channel below. Oh, and while you're at it, check out Discoveries magazine. There's all kinds of cool Texas Tech stories in there too.